with a genetic liver disease called alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. Basically what this means is my liver doesn't produce a protein enzyme called alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency. Excuse me. So basically, Linda gets a cold. Nathan gets a cold. I get a cold, a virus, bronchitis, sinus infection, an allergy reaction. The body will send out white blood cells to go kill off the bacteria, the virus, eliminate the antigen. Sprain an ankle, you get inflammation. The white blood cells eliminate the elimination. A couple days after that, the liver sends out alpha-1, that's what we call it for short, to shut down the white blood cells. Well, if it doesn't get shut down, like mine, my liver never sends that out, the little white blood cells keep floating around in your bloodstream, and they start eating away very soft tissue, namely my lungs. So I get out of breath really easy. So these little white blood cells, I call them Pac-Man. They're very acrimonious, whatever, white blood cells. They're very nasty things. They just keep eating away my lung tissue. So it leads to symptoms of asthma, but they're not treated with inhalers. So I get short of breath, I get lightheaded, I get tightness in the chest. I walk up a flight of stairs and I just can't breathe. But that's the way it is. Now, if it's not treated, it progresses and it turns into emphysema or COPD in someone like me that has never smoked. It's often referred to as genetic emphysema. So if it's unchecked for a long period of time, it leads to the lungs shutting down, and then you need either a bilateral lung transplant, like a gentleman in Lehigh just had last July. He's 46 years old, or eventually death. Now, to prevent this from happening, the only way to treat it is to replace that alpha-1 antitrypsin deficiency in my body. And how that is accomplished is once a week, I have a nurse come to my home and she gets to give me an IV and puts that alpha-1 back into my bloodstream. Exciting, huh? Well, it has a half-life of 7 to 10 days, so I get to do this every week for the rest of my life. But I'm excited about that, because if I can prevent a lung transplant, that's worth it. Now, where does this alpha-1 come from? Like most protein enzymes and antibodies, it can't be synthesized or replicated in a lab. It has to be harvested from plasma donations. So when you donate plasma, do you guys know what plasma is? Plasma, when you look at blood, there's the clear kind of straw-colored fluid called plasma. The rest of it are red blood cells, white blood cells, platelets. So with plasma, the way it works is you donate blood, and you can do this more often than whole blood donations. Whole blood, they take all of your blood, and then you can only donate every 8 weeks. With plasma, because they take your blood, they'll send it through a machine called a centrifuge, which will separate the plasma from the red, white blood cells and the platelets, take that off, and they'll return the red, white blood cells to you. So your body doesn't have to replace that. It just has to replace the fluid. You can do that twice a week. So a lot more often. Now it takes 15 minutes longer than donating whole blood, but it's still 45 minutes compared to 30 minutes. It's not long, so you can do that twice a week. Now the plasma that they take off has those protein enzymes and antibodies that are used for more than just alpha-1. People that are hemophiliacs, they have to have a treatment once a week to help their blood clot, because it will not clot on their own. So if they don't get that treatment, they can literally bleed to death from a simple cut. It's also used for Rh factor, for women that are pregnant and have the Rh factor. They get that shot after they have a baby so they don't have complications with the next baby. That comes from the plasma as well. It's also used for the hepatitis vaccine, tetanus shots, and for, what do they call it? Organ transplants, rejection drugs, so that the body doesn't reduce the transplanted organ. Those are also derived from plasma. There's also special donors out there. Some people have specific antigens or antibodies in their plasma that other people don't have. My friend Tina is one of these. She has this enzyme that when a premature baby is born, their body is lacking this enzyme, and only a few people carry it. So whenever a preemie is born at any of the hospitals, they call the blood bank. Tina, will you come donate blood for us? And she says, sure, because she knows, sorry about that, She just saved a preemie's life. Yeah. Now, there are thousands of people that donate every day, but it's not enough. In fact, it takes 1,200 people a week to donate plasma to produce one treatment for a hemophiliac. 130 people a week to give the dose to someone with the immunodeficiency. 900 people, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 14 people in this room. I need 900 people a week to donate to save my life. Isn't that crazy? There are 9 plasma donation centers here in Utah County alone. It's 45 minutes. Now, you can't just donate once. Did you know what they do with the plasma? You come in and you donate. They'll do the whole process. They'll take your plasma and they're going to put it in a freezer for 2 to 6 months. Now, they've tested you for HIV, hepatitis, all kinds of diseases to make sure your blood is safe to give to me. But they wait until they retest you 2 to 6 months later before they'll actually use that plasma. So you don't have to go every week, twice a week. Once a month will help. And then when they've tested you 2 or 3 months later, they'll release the first one that they took so that they can start using the plasma. So donating once a month is huge. You become a hero to people like me who need your blood. So I'm going to encourage every one of you to donate blood today and encourage your friends and family members